So we are here with yet another mindless cryptographer, recording the conversation as per the agreement. We got consent and we are beginning. So we're talking mindless crypto. I think, should I just jump into it?
Goldberg, by the way.
Oh, yes, this is not Mayor Goldberg. We will not say who this is, but it is not Mayor Goldberg. Should I start? You want to start with questions or should I start with my spiel?
Maybe your spiel is better. I do have questions, but
Mindless, yeah. Mindless crypto is very simply crypto gains without the brains, as the tagline says. And what does that mean? A lot of people want to get into crypto and they just don't know how. They don't understand it. They're scared of it. A lot of people are buying crypto with their hard-earned money, playing the crypto market, right? The Bitcoin is up, Bitcoin is down. Mindless crypto aims to make it very easy for anyone like you or anyone in the world to get into the crypto game in a way that's completely mindless. You don't have to do anything. We tell you exactly what to do, and it's very little that you have to do. What we tell you to do is we welcome you. You sign up for an account on our portal in a matter of 30 seconds. And then we tell you, welcome. Here's what you need to do. Buy one or more laptops. And here are the laptops that you should buy. Here's the link on Costco.com where you visit and you buy a laptop and you deliver it to us. You deliver it to us and you lend it to us on sort of on consignment or on loan. We acknowledge that receipt and that loan. And then we take your laptop, your asset, which is 100% yours and remains 100% yours throughout this relationship. And we put it to work. And the work that we do is called, crypto mining or Bitcoin mining. People don't understand what that means. And it's actually very simple what it means. Although, philosophically, it's hard to accept and understand, but realistically and practically, it's not. What it means is just the laptop will do computations. It's going to do work and we're going to get paid for that work. Okay, it's very, very simple. Does that make sense so far?
So far makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get paid for that work. So at the end of the month, there's going to be a pushka with the payments that were made for this work, right? Every minute of every day, every second of every day, while you're sleeping and while I'm sleeping, and while you're learning and while I'm learning, there's going to be this computer, one or more of your laptops are going to be doing work, getting paid for it, and then placing it in this collective pushka. At the end of the month, let's say there is one Bitcoin in there, which it would not be. But let's say for argument's sake, let's make it even easier. There's 100 Bitcoins in there, okay, at the end of the month. What we do is we do a revenue share automatically, again, mindlessly and automatically. You don't have to do anything. You're completely passive and not even thinking about it. You automatically get a notification, an email saying, congratulations, here's your payout. The payout is 30%. Our published rate is 30% of whatever is in that pushka is automatically paid out to you into your Bitcoin wallet, which you can create literally. We can literally create a Bitcoin wallet for you in 23 seconds right now on this call. Okay, you will not do it that way. Probably you'll do it on Coinbase or one of the other reputable entities where Coinbase is like very very effective know your customer procedures and blah blah blah. And then on there's an exchange and you could do whatever you want with that crypto, with that Bitcoin that you received as a payout. You could convert it to US dollars if you don't believe in the value of crypto being preserved. You can pay your yeshiva tuition. You could go to Everfresh and buy milk and challah for Shabbat. Okay.
So it's 70-30 is what you're saying.
It's 30-70, correct. Now that increases. I'm gonna now screen share and I'll show you some of the numbers. Let me know when you see the screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Is it big enough or should I zoom in? Do you see the numbers well?
Right.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, it's fine.
So we're starting at 30, right? The share of the revenue here is 30. And you see it increases as the number of rigs over here. Rigs are a fancy name for a laptop. As the number of rigs increases from 1 up to 40, your revenue share also increases from 30 up to 36.40%, which means your returns also increase, obviously, right? You're with me?
I'm with you, yeah.
Okay, great. So now, let's talk about the numbers of how this works.
Returns? What is this returns?
So this line, I'll explain all the entire line and what this means. Yeah. But just to understand, again, you lend the laptop to us whenever you want. You request it back. You get it back within 2 business days. You take that laptop, which is now worth something. We'll talk about what that something is. Some people think it's worth the same amount of what you paid for it even a year later, and I'll explain why. Some people say it's depreciated. This financial model or this projection that we have here assumes it's going to depreciate 10% year over year. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about the numbers, what these numbers all mean. So coming back down to the bottom over here. Right here is where we are, okay? We recommended a laptop. You went and you bought this laptop. How much did you pay for the laptop? $13.08 at Costco, okay, after tax. You know what? I have the wrong model here. Hold on. This is slightly different. It's a different laptop. It's the same idea. Just
To
whatever.
be honest with you, I honestly don't care so much about the laptop. I could take the laptop and it
Burn
makes no
it.
difference. It's not a major investment. It's like, I wouldn't even call it an investment. It's more of like a participation.
Whatever you want to call it, but you bought a laptop at Costco that cost $19.99 and after tax $21.76, right?
Okay.
Okay, we go back to the top now to line one. One rig, one laptop, and what do the numbers mean? So $21.76 base is your laptop, correct?
Okay.
Okay, at the end of year one, this whole yellow section is end of year one, the green is end of year two, the orange is end of year three. At the end of year one, your laptop is now depreciated 10%, which means it's worth only $19.77, not $21.76, correct?
Fine.
Okay, during that year, you had a revenue share of $640. How? We're coming back to the bottom, over here to the pinks. So that one laptop that you bought is projected to produce per day 0.0001058 Bitcoin. And how do we project that? Because we know we have historical performance data now, because this laptop is live, which translated to on November 26, Bitcoin 55,000. Bitcoin is now at 50, so this is lower. Translates to $5.85, which translates to annually 2135.
Got it.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
30% of 2135 is 640. Okay, so when we take at the end of year one, your asset is worth only 1977, not 2176, plus 640 is 2617. Good.
Right.
2617 divided by your base participation amount is a return on investment of 20% per year, 20.24. Okay, and at the end of year two, it's basically double that and triple that, because we're not doing any kind of annual daily accrual or any kind of reinvestment. It's just a very straightforward model.
Right. 1
time return, 2 times return, 3 times return. At the end of year one, the three though, what happens, the tachlis is your asset now is only worth 1577 because it depreciated 10%, 10%, 10%, right? You had a total revenue share that you accumulated 1921 throughout these 3 years. Your total value for your asset and the revenue share is 3498. 3498 divided by your original buy-in is 60% return on investment. Okay. That's it as far as the model goes. So any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, beautiful.
Very straightforward.
Beautiful. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Very low risk. What are the risks?
The way you really can make some serious money, because I mean, the way you make money on this is if Bitcoin goes up in value. That's really where it's at.
No, the way you make money is you make more or less money, but the way you make 20% on your money, which I've never seen an investment like that. I was about to pull the trigger with one of our brethren and do a real estate investment 3 months ago before Alan and I got into this.
Right.
And that return was 12%. My money is locked in for 5 to 10 years. And God knows what happens to this money and what happens, and I have no control over it, right? They go buy buildings, demolish them, build them, rent rolls, all this nonsense. That million things can go wrong, right? And if tomorrow, if I give him $50,000 and tomorrow I need $50,000 for my daughter's wedding, tough luck. But here, if I buy 10 laptops, yes, it cost me $20,000. The day after tomorrow, my son is going to yeshiva or my daughter's getting married or anything, Mindless Crypto, I'd like all 10 laptops back. Here you go. The next day you get it.
But the laptop's not going to pay for a wedding. You have to liquidate it, and that's even harder to liquidate than real estate is.
Liquidating laptops on eBay is a matter of a day, 2 days worth of weight. It's actually very easy, especially these laptops.
Yeah.
So it's not
10% also there.
Yeah. So okay. So deduct the 10%. But the point is, at the end of the day, you have an asset it's very easy to liquidate it. You're not locked in for any period of time. You could start small and I have guys that are doing only one. Andy, I'm not comfortable with only one. Fine, do one. I have someone else that's doing 30 laptops because they see the value. So it's very easy to scale for you. It's more complicated for us to scale for you because we have to put these laptops somewhere, we have to nurture them and babysit them and monitor them, and our algorithms have to decide, are we mining Bitcoin today and are we mining Ethereum tomorrow, because it's more profitable for the two of us. We do all that work, and then it's all mindless for you. You don't have to worry about electrical consumption, temperature of the laptop, air conditioning, where it's going to host.
The laptops in your own locations.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
They're not in my own locations. They're third-party locations that we contracted with, right? So co-locations.
Yeah, but you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you're not making a lot of money with one laptop, but you're making tons of returns with that one laptop, right? We shouldn't look at the dollar amount return. We should look at the value of this participation or undertaking, right? So when I go and do this transaction with whomever, I'm looking at, it's 6% return and it's kind of safe. That's a very viable investment for me. I've never seen an investment where I mean, this is my baby, so I'm biased, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I would be very comfortable telling my mom, take your life savings and give it to me and do this, because I don't see any real risk. And we'll talk about the risks right now. There is no real risk. The risk is very, I mean, as a friend, I would tell you that the risk is zero, but obviously as the managing member of Mindless Crypto LLC, I can't say that. So I'll tell you the risk is minimal.
What if Bitcoin becomes valueless?
So if Bitcoin becomes valueless and you believe it's going to become valueless, it's very simple. Every month when you get your payout, you should take that Bitcoin and not preserve it as Bitcoin. You should convert it to US dollars. If you think it's US dollars preserve their value more, which it's comical these days. But you could do that. You could buy your wife a Chanel bag. You could buy you could pay for your Shiva tuition, right? You could take your Bitcoin wallet and spend it any which way you wish. There are actually companies that will give you a Bitcoin wallet, meaning Andy or Mindless Crypto, transfer, my monthly payouts, I want it to go to this Bitcoin address. That's all you have to tell us. It's a long string of characters that says where we're gonna hit your payout. Once it hits that wallet could be a company that also gives you a debit card linked to that wallet. And you could walk into Everfresh and swipe it for challah, and nobody would even know that it's connected to your Bitcoin wallet. You're spending money like you would US dollars. So that's how viable and usable Bitcoin is. So yeah, Bitcoin increases value, Bitcoin price increases, you see gains. Bitcoin decreases, you see losses. But it's actually very different than buying Bitcoin. So people actually ask, one of the biggest questions or toughest questions also to ask is, if I bought, instead of giving you, buying a laptop and giving the laptop for $2,000, why don't I go out and buy Bitcoin for $2,000 if I believe in the upside of Bitcoin, right? And the answer is great. You could do that, yes. And and if there's upside in Bitcoin, yes, you'll be better off in the short term. After 3.4 years or break even, you'll be worse off, okay? Because you've already fully recovered your initial buy-in. But in the short term, you'll be better off. However, you'll also be subjected to the downside risk of Bitcoin crashing. Whereas you don't have that risk, you have zero risk with Mindless Crypto, because when you buy fish and the fish markets collapse, then yeah, you lost money. But when you're buying fishing equipment and you're fishing for fish and you're getting fish for free, you have no downside, right? The salmon you caught today is worth $50, tomorrow is worth $25 because it crashed 50%. Still, you're $25 ahead of the game, right? Your downside, you have zero downside. That's the beauty of it. So we're making crypto. We're not buying crypto with our hard-earned dollars.
Does the ability to mine crypto change? In other words, right now you're projecting based on historical data that you'll be able to pull out $640 was 30%.
It's a very good question. Yeah.
Does it become more, more?
Yeah. I hear.
Not the right word, but
it's a great question. No, and the answer is yes. It becomes harder to mine crypto as time goes by. The reason for it is not anything other than because the person that created the algorithms for Bitcoin decided that that's what it should be. There's a finite amount of Bitcoin that could be mined in the world, and as time progresses, it becomes harder and harder to mine for it. But that difficulty is so that difficulty curve, if you look at it, is so it's so shallow that in 2 years, 3 years, we would have very minimal effect on what we're seeing. We're talking about like much bigger terms. So yeah, it's going to get harder. So in reality, it's not, the projection shouldn't be exactly this much. In year 2 and 3, it'll be a tiny bit less, but it's it's negligible. It's a rounding error, basically.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, in year 3, for your $2,000, you could buy a new laptop that has a much more powerful GPU, because that's the nature of technology, right? We progress and things become cheaper. So in year 3, your same rig for $2,000 is going to be able to do a lot more, right? Right now, this rig can do, let's say, 50 million calculations per second. It's called hash, mega hash, meaning hash is the kind of very complicated calculations that you need for mining. Right now, it could do 50 mega hash, but that same $2,000, I would assume in 3 years, will do maybe 100 mega hash or 200 mega hash or whatever we're up to. So your value for your money obviously decreases, increases as time goes by. So that same $2,000 is going to buy you more computational power in 2 years.
Right. But then you have to swap it out. Right.
Exactly. And that's it in a nutshell. What we say in our introductory email that goes out, I don't know if I have the actual Lush on here, but it's actually quite cute. Let me find it. I should put this as part of the pitch deck, but it says, welcome.
How many computers do you have working for you right now?
That's proprietary information that I cannot disclose, but it's more than one.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I'll drop a name because he's authorized me to do it. Avner Levy he started with 4 laptops, about a month that we're into it. And let me just pull up real time where we're at. I'm not going to show you on the screen. You'll just have to trust me because I don't want this to be recorded. But his wallet right now, our push cut together has $434 and change worth of Bitcoin. This is in a month. So 4 laptops that are lower, they're lower end laptops, 3060 GPUs, which are like, I think right now someone's getting, I had a meeting yesterday with one of our friends. He's getting a few laptops, the same laptop. So it produced $434 in a matter of I think a month or so. So we're talking about real money, right? We're not talking about chump change. This is real money that will pay for stuff, a lot of stuff.
How many laptops you said he has?
He has 4. And he started on, I'm sorry, actually time flies. So it's actually a little bit over a month. November 17th was his last laptop. So we're talking about a month and a week, so 5 weeks. So in 5 weeks, produced $434 on this relative lower end machine that does 42 mega hash. We have machines that do much more than that, obviously.
What you got to do is, honestly, I think like you have to think about the tremendous tax savings you have for people who get into this.
How's that? I'm not a tax kind of guy.
The people who buy the laptops could deduct the entire value of those laptops
as an expense.
Yeah,
because it's basically capex.
Exactly. You can't do that with an investment.
Right. That's so cool. I never thought of that.
That's where you really could get people interested, because you could basically tell them, it's basically free for you at this point.
It's not free because whatever that deduction is on your returns, it's not 1 for 1, right? You're not realizing a $2,000.
Depends where they're at. You could get people with the deduction might be worth 1 to 1. You could.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you. That's very insightful. Thank you. I never thought of that. The way that what I did think of it with taxes is and
that just doesn't get taxed, right? It's a double.
I'm gonna pause the recording for a second. So I'm going to share my screen again and show you this is actually remarkable how quickly you can create a Bitcoin wallet. So I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to the following address. You could go there if you want yourself. It's called bitaddress.org. Okay, and bitaddress.org, basically it says right on top what it is: open source JavaScript client-side Bitcoin wallet generator. I'm going to right now move my mouse and you see all I'm doing is creating some randomization so it can seed the keys in a way that's completely random. That's what my random mouse movements are doing for us right now. So we're up to like 97%. You see this number changing? Now we're at 100 and boom, we just got our wallet. Finish. Right now, you could take this information that you see on your screen, you could print it or you could save it somewhere safe, and you could give the world this side of the screen, the share side, the green side. This is a public address. This is what you would give Mindless Crypto, or you would give anyone that wants to transfer Bitcoin to your wallet, right? This side, you're still with me, right? I don't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. This side is your secret key side that you don't share with anyone. It's your private key. And that's what facilitates transferring crypto out of your wallet, so that you keep safe and secret somewhere in a safe. You'd actually literally print this out, right? That's what this is meant for, is you print this out as a physical paper wallet. The secret key goes into your safe. The public key goes into your wallet or on your forehead. And everywhere you go, you could just say, you know, send me Bitcoins. And then when you need to use it, you use it with this private key. That's it. That's how in 10 seconds we were able to create a wallet for you to transact and transfer Bitcoin currency in and out of your wallet. Compare that with a TD Bank, by the way. You know, TD Bank, I'm trying to open up a checking account for Mindless Crypto with TD Bank, right?
Not easy.
It's been a week. The guy knows me. I have a relationship with the branch manager for about 15 years, right? I have several business accounts, personal accounts. He tells me, Andy, I need proof of address. I go, dude, TD Bank mails me mail at my address for 3 years. No, I need a registration and an insurance card and a driver's license, passport. Are you crazy? Do you realize where the world is heading, and you guys are making it harder for us to open up a checking account? What's wrong with you people? No, I told him this to his face. I'm like, Carl, you're telling me that you need to verify my address where you send mail. Like, go into your system and look up my address. The mail isn't bouncing, right? You've been sending me mail at my home address. Yeah, it's really stupid, but I don't know. It's the regulation.
Yeah, okay. I'd be like, okay, print it out for me.
Exactly. Print out your statement. Oh my goodness. So yeah, listen, they're going to keep making it tougher, and the brains of the world are going to keep making it easier. Just like the record labels thought that they were going to be able to stop Napster and peer-to-peer sharing. That went really, really well for them, right?
Well, I think they ended up winning.
Because they changed their model, not because they thought they could win the battle.
They changed their model.
Yeah, they embraced the model. They weren't the yellow taxi medallions that said, no, we're going to beat Uber, and then commit suicide when their medallion dropped from $1 million to $100,000.
Yeah. But the only problem is that I could talk to you about Apple, what they've done to the music industry. They don't reinvest it. Like Netflix and Amazon reinvests. So they put in more money than any studio ever would have put in. The problem with iTunes and these guys is they're not reinvesting into the industry.
All right.
They're just looking for someone who already made it big, and they try to buy that, you know. So it's killed music. It's why there's no more money in music on the seed level. So no one goes into it, and there's no good music coming out. That's the problem. But that's a different story. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think there's tremendous opportunities here for major tax savings. Major tax savings. I mean, at the end of the day, to put in $2,000 to generate $600 a year, it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. It's fine. And you have that laptop, which has value. You can't dismiss that or diminish that in any way. For an average investor, someone, let's say like my father, like he's not going to have anything to do with the laptop at that point. He's gonna have to find someone who's going to sell it for him, and who knows? You know, these things diminish significantly. Laptops. I mean,
actually, these gaming laptops. If you look a year ago, if you would have bought a laptop for $2,000 today, you're not going to believe this. Today, you could sell it for $2,000.
I know. No, more even.
Or more. I didn't want to say more because it sounds ludicrous, but
chips.
Because of the chips. Yeah, because of chip demand and shortage. The GPUs, not any chips. They're not any chips. They're the GPUs that are in demand because of gaming and mining. So yeah, this laptop, you know, we offer conservatively in the model, we're offering 10% depreciation, but it's not going to depreciate 10%. So your returns are actually going to be higher, all else equal.
It's hard to tell. Yeah. It's fascinating stuff.
So what do you think? Do you know a few people that you could tell them this is really cool stuff that my buddy is
Yeah, I
doing and
think
check
it's
it
an
out?
easy sell for someone who has tax liabilities, a very, very easy sell.
It's why is it not an easy sell for someone that doesn't have tax liability?
It's tougher.
It's a tougher sell, right? But why is it not, why is it very tough? It's tougher, but it's, and I'll tell you why it's a very easy sale. And I won't tell you who, but I had one of our very close mutual friends last night. Basically, that's what was the easy sale for him, was the fact that we're specifying laptops from Costco. So you could give this a trial, 90-day free trial. You don't like what you see in day 89, take your laptops, give them back to Costco, and they'll kiss you and hug you and tell you thank you for your business, right? They have a 90-day return window on electronics and laptops. So it's mamash, really a mindless, brainless, $0 risk, right? There is no risk. The risk is you get a flat tire on your way back to Costco and you miss the return window. That's the only risk.
Well, why are you doing laptops? Aren't desktops cheaper?
That's a great question. So laptops, is even a better question. Why are you doing laptops? Why aren't you doing mining rigs that can produce a lot more? That's even a better question. And the answer is because we want to watch out for you as opposed to just for us. Because for us, it would be much better if you bought a mining rig for $10,000, $20,000 and would produce tons of Bitcoin, much more than a laptop. It would take less space on our data center rack space that's very expensive, right? It'll take 1U or 2U of space where your laptops probably take, 2 or 3 laptops take that much space as well. But at the end of a year or 2 years, when we made a lot of money and we gave you 30% of it, you were going to now take this asset of yours that you paid $10,000 for, and you're going to want to do something with it.
It's useless, right?
It's useless. It has no intrinsic value. The desktop is they're not that much cheaper, first of all. And laptops are intrinsically valuable. Like you could take it and again, give it to your son who's going to yeshiva. You're not going to do that with a desktop. And also it just doesn't work for us. Like that's going to take up half a rack of space, right? I can't, and that's very expensive space for me. So that's the reason. Also makes shipping and transporting and all this good stuff very difficult. So desktops, I think in general, I think desktops are just obsolete kind of animals, except, if you're in an office setting and it's just there and so forth.
Okay.
So that is the end, my friend. So, now I'll do what they taught me when I was a teenager and I was, in school. They sent us with these very highly overpriced chocolates once a year to go sell them to people and make, raise money for the school, right? So they taught us when I was going to Park Lane and going door to door selling these, said the most important thing you have to say at the end of whatever you're saying, the most important thing, how many would you like? So I'm asking, how many would you like?
It's a good question.